Evening. All right, this fit is props to V4 Victory. Dude from our corp came up with a really clever militia tank fit. Now, again, a lot of you are just going to sit there and say, what's the point? Well, this tank is a pretty good tank, and it doesn't require any skill, so you don't need a single point in anything to use this. I'm using Aurum blueprints just for the sake of fact that I have them. But even then, the modules that are fitting here are pretty cheap. Now, again, you have the ability to change this. Effectively, as you can see, the fit there is two low power grid extenders, then a heavy shield extender, a resistance amp, and then a light shield booster because, let's face it, it's a throwaway vehicle. Now you can change and you need to put a blaster turret on it as well. All in, hopefully you saw that, all in, even with Militia blueprints, this fit is 186k, which is actually less than some of my drop suits, which is quite funny. And it's a 4k shielded militia tank that basically you can buy 50 of and just use as disposable tanks. Now, again, this really, I mean, the footage here just shows you this thing packs a punch. It's in no way comparable to a top tier tanker, so a Gunlogi or a Madruga or above are always going to be better, but the thing is, you shouldn't be afraid to have a stash of tanks that you'll just use and lose, and I think this is something that we're trying to instill in the corp a bit more, that militia tanks, let me explain. There's a bit of a misnomer with militia tanks, which is that, oh, well, there's a Seeker or there's a Soma, right, let's go at it. Let's run headlong at this tank because that'll be easy to kill. And I played probably 6-7 matches last night with this fit and I only lost 3. And it was just an exceptionally powerful tank. It trained me how to tank to begin with, obviously, because you're not then using expensive tanks. It's got crappy modules on, which means that it's not that much of a big deal if you lose it. Literally, this tank cost me 186k. I mean, it's brilliant, isn't it? You can lose 3 or 4 of them in a round and not be too financially damaged by that. So I think it's definitely worth having a go with. Plus, I think tanking is something that I just love. I think everybody is too focused on infantry in this game, and I think a tank, even this is the worst tank you can possibly buy, pretty much, with the worst modules, but yet I was still getting, 10, 15 kills with it and surviving the whole map. And also the thing with tanks like this is that they do keep people's focus. So having this tank in meant that half their team switched to AV to try and kill me, and therefore they're diminished in their infantry capability. So it's worth doing, and I think a lot of people are maybe they kind of snort derision at the fact that I'm using militia gear all round, but I think it's worth doing. It really is an absolute blast. And I think, again, AV is very potent at the moment. I think there's probably a bit of a discussion going on around that, but because this is a shield tanker, it's kind of it's able to withstand AV grenades better than the Soma. So I think I don't have a single point in shields at all, yet this thing is packing 4k shield and a natural 10% resistance. It's not bad. It's quite surprisingly good. I think you can't rely on repping, so you need to be able to just GTFO when somebody comes at you, but in essence this is quite a formidable fit. A lot of people are going to be pretty ragey about this. Why am I sharing fits like this? Well, again, just to be clear, we don't mind if half the team come at us with these tanks, because that's fun. This is all about a game. If you want to dominate and win a game by being secret and all that stuff, then fair enough, but we're not like that. We would rather share the good ideas, and I think this is certainly one of them. There is a Soma fit as well. We'll do probably in another video, but I just think as an option for somebody with no skill whatsoever, a brand new player into the game, you could have a stack of these and pretty much learn tanking by doing this. Then as you get better at it, you can have your better fits with the Gunlogis or whatever, and you can do better tactics and better modules and turrets, etc, etc. But I think it comes down to the game is quite a disposable thing. Think how many suits you lose in each round. It's unless you're pro, you're going to lose suits, and I think there's nothing wrong with losing tanks, as I'm about to lose here. This guy's got an Ishikone forge gun, so I'm pretty much in trouble. But here we go. Look at this thing. It does, they aren't they aren't impervious, but look at the damage this thing does. And there we go, we all died. But naturally, because we're vindictive, we chase this guy down seconds later, and oh look, there he is with his nice expensive forge gun. And look, I've got a cheap shotgun. Oh, goodbye. And I think this is something that it's the beauty of Dust, really, isn't it? It's all about having a bit of a laugh. So there we go, a simple tank, simple cost, very low cost, 180k. If you fit it with other mods, it can be about 220, but I would just highly recommend it. And again, I think people disregard some of the militia stuff, but honestly, some of that militia stuff is cheap and worth using. If you get a good gang where people aren't necessarily packing AV, I think you should definitely try one and have a bit of fun, because at the end of the day, the game is about fun. Hope you enjoyed that. See you next time.